Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of the Way of Wade Fission 8, and this is the Panda colorway. So it retails for 120 bucks. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. It is made for like outdoor use, right? Which is kind of weird, which we'll get into that. But anyways, links will be in the description box. Let's get started right off with the tracciones, right? So the tracciones, the pattern is pretty interesting. We have pretty much like an infinity symbol going throughout the entire outsole, small infinity symbols, right? So how is the traction? So the traction is really good for lateral movements, right? If you're doing lateral movements, you're gonna be stopping really well. However, it kind of reminds me a lot of the Jordan 31s, right? So it has a very loud high-pitched squeak, super duper loud, which I do like. But it like the Jordan 31, when you're going forward, it slips a little bit. You know what I mean? So when I was doing like, you know, a pull-up jumpers, right? You know when you do a pull-up jumper and you go like boom boom and then you shoot, it slides a little bit, no matter how clean the court is. You know what I mean? So if it's super duper clean, I feel like it slid a little bit less. But if there's just a tiny bit of dust, it started to slip a little bit more, which I didn't like. So that's definitely really annoying for me, just because I don't know why. Why does it slip going forward, but lateral movements like going side to side, it was really good. I don't know. But if you don't mind that, then you'll be fine. You know what I mean? But like, I guess if you're doing post moves or something like that. But for me, it bothered me a good amount. So I didn't like that. It does pick up a little bit of dust, however, right? You know, just it's easy to wipe off, but it does pick up dust pretty quickly. So if you don't like to wipe, probably not the best option. If you don't mind wiping, then you should be fine, because like I said, it's a very easy wipe. Outdoor use, you should also be fine, right? The rubber is pretty damn hard. The grooves are very deep, and also you have a lot of surface area. You see all this surface area right here in the forefoot, the highway areas, here in the heel as well. So outdoor use, you should be good to go, right? It's just the performance for me was a little bit inconsistent as well. You know, I didn't like it. The dust was all right. And then, like I said, the going forward was kind of annoying as well. So it's kind of disappointing, just because most wave, I mean, like pretty much all of them have really good traction. I don't know what they did. Maybe the rubber compound was kind of weird in this. The pattern even, maybe. I don't think it's a pattern. It's probably the rubber compound. But anyways, there is the traction there. Moving on to the heel to toe transition. Overall, it's pretty damn smooth. Here in the heel, we have a nice rounded shape. And it's pretty smooth, I guess, right? The foam is all right. And then here in the forefoot, you know, we have a nice rounded curved shape as well, and a good amount of forefoot flex, right? Look at that. So super duper smooth feeling shoe, especially when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court. So that felt pretty nice. And then moving on to the cushioning setup. So as you guys all know, cushion is not a huge deal for me. You know what I mean? Like, as long as it's low to the ground, responsive, and has pretty good impact protection or adequate impact protection, then that's fine. You know, that's really all I need right now. But in the Fission 8, it hurt my feet a lot. You know what I mean? So we have a light foam combo, right? So it's light foam plus as far as the midsole goes, right? This black foam. And then we have inserts, right? So we have boom inserts. We have a pretty much a forefoot boom pod and then a heel boom pod as well. So if you look at the actual, like, okay, so first of all, the insole is all right. It's like a regular ortholite insole. And then there is a very soft mesh stroke, right? And you can see the white parts, and that's where, you know, the boom is. So when you press it with your finger, you know, it's actually pretty nice. The step-in cover is actually pretty nice as well. The black part is really stiff, however. That's probably the pro bar lock, right? For like torsion support and stuff like that. But yeah, the cushion, especially in the heel, hurt really bad. So not even like on hard impacts, right? When I was doing heel strikes and stuff like that. When I was just like doing heel dominant strikes, like when I was, you know, running down the court and doing this, right? Just because normally people do this when they're running or jogging down the court. Or I guess, you know, some people go on their toes, but I usually go on my heels, right? But anyways, it would hurt my heel. You know, the impact protection was really bad for me in the heel. It hurt my feet a good amount, actually. And the forefoot, actually, for some reason, it didn't hurt as much, but the heel was, I don't know what it is, just because the heel, like I said, you had the soft mesh rubber with the boom, right? So that felt pretty nice. It's probably because the boom might be like thin, right? I don't know what it is, but my heel would hurt a lot, right? So impact protection was not great, especially on heel strikes, and especially on like softer heel strikes as well. So if you need impact protection, probably not the best option. However, if you're like a younger guy and you just need a responsive cushioning setup, you don't really care about cushioning that much, then you should be fine in this. But for the most part, if you want something from your cushion, especially impact protection. I feel like most people, you probably need impact protection if you want to keep playing ball, that longevity, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, everything else, it's responsive, step and comfort is pretty nice, like I said, with the softer mesh strobe board. You have good court feel. It's just the impact protection for me was not good. So just be careful on that. And like I said, for me, even though I don't really care about impact protection that much most of the time, it was pretty bad for me here in this shoe, right? So there's that. Moving on to the material. So the material, they're calling it a cool shell, right? So it's supposed to be, they're marketing it as like an outdoor summer shoe, you know what I mean? So it has very, very good ventilation. The material is super thin, right? And you have this very, very open mesh. So ventilation is super duper good, right? There's a good amount of airflow. So it feels pretty nice on foot. Like as far as the quality goes, it's not the best. 120 bucks is actually pretty damn cheap for a Way of Wade. So they needed to skimp out a little bit on somewhere, right? And then you have this boom and stuff like that. So they kind of skimped out a little bit on the material quality, but it's definitely not even that bad. So on foot, it's thin. It conforms to your foot extremely well. There's no pinching or anything like that. It breaks in very, very nicely too. You don't really even have to break it in. And also it does feel overall pretty supportive, right? This mesh material is not like terribly unsupportive, right? And we do have some fuse here at the tip of the toe for extra added durability and support, especially if you do like toe drag and stuff like that. And then also around the eyelets, we have some fuse for extra support as well. We do have some flywire cables too, right here in the midfoot, two to be exact, here on the lateral and also on the medial side. So when you tighten the laces, it gives you better support and lockdown. For the tongue, however, it's super freaking thin. Look at that. It's a crappy, like, kind of synthetic material with ventilation holes in it. And then going down like this part of the tongue, we have like a very, very small amount of foam. It's a half booty construction tongue, however, which is giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. But I guess it's a very minimal tongue, but not the best feeling, right? And then here in the ankle area, we do have some foam, but it's more on the minimal side. So it's not super cozy or anything. So it's a very, very minimal and very, very thin upper. If you like that, then obviously the Fission 8, it's a good thing. But if you want a little bit more like coziness, if you want a little something, you know what I mean, on your foot, then this definitely is not the best option, right? Also, something I didn't like is the laces. The laces is kind of cheap feeling as well. It has like a cord going through this like flat lace or whatever's going on here. Just like, it doesn't really matter for performance, I don't really care, but just like when I was tightening the shoe, you know what I mean? When I was lacing it out, I definitely felt that it was like kind of cheap feeling, you know what I mean? So there's that. Moving on to the fit. So the fit is probably my favorite part about this shoe, just because this shoe fits me perfectly, right? So I went true to size, and lengthwise, pretty much right at the edge of the shoe, which I do like. I like a very, very snug fit here lengthwise. And also here in the toe box, it is quite snug. It's not super duper snug, right? This mesh does give you a little leeway. It does stretch a little bit. So it's not super snug, it's not super uncomfortable. I would say it's like slightly snug, so that felt nice as well. And then width-wise, I would say it's slightly narrow too. So it's a pretty snug fit overall for me with my foot going true to size. So if you like a pretty snug fit, you should be fine going true to size. If you have a wide foot or you want a roomier fit, probably go up a half size to maybe even a full size, just because it is on the it's pretty snug, right? So just be careful on that. But for me personally, I did like the fit. And moving on to the support and lockdown, also I had zero issues, right? So lateral containment, I was good to go. We do have a good amount of fuse, over this cool shell and also over this mesh. So that felt very nice here in the forefoot. And then here in the midfoot, we have, I guess, the rubber coming up acting as sidewall, right? And also we have this midfoot shank plate coming up acting as a sidewall as well, like for lateral containment here in the heel. And then we have an internal TPU heel counter also with this heel lock, right? You see all this black plastic going around the heel. It's pretty much like an external heel counter. So lateral containment was very good for me as well. Lateral stability, same thing, right? It's very, very rounded, as you guys can see, but they added these kind of like, I don't know, like these rivets or something like that. So it protrudes out. Look at that. That's actually pretty damn nice, and you have a wide base, so that does keep you stable for lateral stability. So I had no issues with that either, and my foot felt locked into the shoe. It fit me very, very well. So support and lockdown was really, really good for me, and I feel like even if you're a bigger dude, you should be good to go with the support, right? Moving on to the weight of the shoe, right? So it felt very light and very minimal, and if I remember correctly, it was pretty damn light. Right, so 11.4 ounces. So that's definitely way lighter than average. The average weight of my shoes are around 12.5 ounces. So let's check the other shoe. 11.4 ounces, right? So yeah, that is very, very light. It feels very light. It feels very minimal on foot as well. And it feels overall pretty damn responsive if I was playing on an immaculate court, right? If I'm playing on an immaculate court, I felt very, very responsive. So if I was playing on a dusty court, I would start to slide a little bit more, like going forward and stuff like that, which made me feel a little bit slow. But for the most part, it's a very, very responsive shoe besides kind of like that traction problem. It wasn't terrible or anything, but I definitely did notice it, right? All right, moving on to the aesthetics. I like it. You know, it's a pretty damn good looking shoe. And also I really like this colorway. It's black and white colorway with some like pink and like lime green accents, right? So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I definitely feel like you should just spend $10 more and get the Sun and Flash, right? The Sun and Flash is an amazing shoe, better traction, better cushion, and I feel like it'll still hold up pretty well on the outdoor court as well. You know what I mean? The Fission 8, I did have a few issues, right? So the cushion was not good. It would hurt my feet. It would hurt my heel a good amount actually. And then, like I said, the traction going forward, it would slip a little bit, right? Reminds me a lot of the Jordan 31. So besides those two things, however, it was a nice shoe overall. You know, it's lightweight, it's overall pretty responsive, super minimal feeling as well. Low to the ground cushion, responsive cushion. Overall, really good traction besides just going the forward, right? So yeah, honestly though, I don't. It's probably not gonna be my rotation. Like I said, you know, just spend $10 more and get the Sun and Flash, and also is a better looking shoe, in my opinion too. So Sun and Flash, probably better, but this overall I would give it like a B minus, C plus. Honestly though, it's weird because Way of Wade, like all of their shoes, I feel like I really liked so far. It's just the Fission 8, like it's alright. It's alright. You know what I mean? So anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the Way of Wade Fission 8. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave a free link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.